Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video, it's going to be a two-parter, by the way. I wanted to go over some of the skills you might use in that order form assignment for the pizza place, particularly the date picker part. So one of your classmates just contacted me, and they were kind of tinkering with something which I think was a little fancier than what we needed, because there is an official date picker input element that we can use. It actually gives us a calendar and produces some data and stuff like that. However, I think that's more than what we need, because the goal for this little small fake pizza shop is that we only give the user limited choices for delivery. They can't choose some date that's way far in the future, so don't give them that option. Instead, they can only pick from the current day, the next day, or the day after. So they can only pick a couple days out into the future, and then we have a set number of times that they can pick. So I've done a little bit of work before turning on the recorder, and I'm just building a little small version of the bigger order form. I'm only focusing right now on those selection menu for the dates. And I've got 7 days of the week in there, and I've got the times from 11:30 a.m. down to 11:30 p.m. I wish there was some exciting way to create those, but yeah, I just typed them in. Here's my page. Just typed them in by hand. I did a bit of, typed a couple of them, did copy and paste, then changed the numbers around. However, I think I did a couple things that will make my life easier in the next phase of the assignment. For instance, well, this one's pretty easy, I guess. I gave values for my days of the week, which I know are going to correspond to the day of the week values when you use a date object. So it's an array. 0 is Sunday, 1 is Monday, 2 is Tuesday. I'm recording this, by the way, on Tuesday, November 16th. You'll be confirming that here in just a moment when I do some date stuff. And I do have an appointment to get out here in about 30 minutes. So let's try to get as much as I can here. So not very exciting. Obviously, I've styled it a little bit just with font size. Make the font size big, and that's probably the easiest way to style a form element. So on my CSS for my select, I just gave it a big font size of 1.5 em. Very similar for the time. The time was a little more interesting though. I did military times, and I just put in, or the 24-hour clock. Basically, I gave values and IDs. My IDs are just like PT for pick time, and I've got the numbers, and I've just typed them all in there. Again, it was not fun. It was a little tedious, but just copy, paste, and it goes, you're done with it in a couple minutes. I'm thinking that I might use my script later on to actually hide certain values, and I think we'll be able to use a loop to take care of that, but that's later on. So I've got to construct these select forms. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is something I think you should do, but it's not essential to do it. And basically, I've set up this little paragraph down here where I want to display some key information, because when you're creating a script for dates and times and things like that, you want to know that you can easily grab that information with variables, and you know what to expect from that information. So what I'm going to finish this part of the video with is kind of creating a section here. Let me zoom in another chunk where I can do some work. I'm going to do my script right in here in the body of the page, so that way my stuff is all self-contained into one file. You might be using an external JS file. And let's see. Let's go ahead and get organized. I'm going to declare some variables, and then I'm going to basically just display my info. Now, when I display my info, I'm going to be displaying it in this paragraph. I've got this empty paragraph here for key info, and so basically I'm going to say document.getElement by ID. My key info paragraph .inner HTML is going to equal my key info variable. I'm going to be creating a key info variable, and I'm going to be appending a bunch of information to that. And it's already starting to do something. Okay, well, that's enough of that. Now for some variables. Actually, I will do another section here too, because I will also construct my key info variable. I'll do that there. Okay, but first I'm going to declare some variables. And let's start off really simple. Let D for date equal our new date object. So now we've got this piece of information, but we want to see what that piece of information is going to provide. So I'm going to go down here and let's go ahead and declare a variable too. I'll do this right at the top. Let my key info variable is going to be equal to blank. Just an empty set of quotes. It's going to be a string. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that right now. So now I'm going to take my key info variable. Okay, my key info variable already exists. I declared it up here on line 134. On line 138, I'm going to do an append. I'm going to append information there. I'm going to append the information D plus I'm going to put in a break tag. That's all I want to do. So I'm not really going to use that. I just want to be aware of that information. I know I'm not putting labels, but hey, we can figure that out. So I am, and of course that's loading up automatically. I am doing this right now on Tuesday, November 16th at 2021. What do? You subtract, that's the year. Crazy. My time is 15:30. I subtract 12 from that, so it's 3:30 p.m. I'm looking at my clock, which is down here under my picture. Looks like it's pretty accurate. Yeah, Greenwich Mean Time, who cares about that stuff? But that's just good information to know. Now I want to take that date information and break it down into little chunks. So I'm going to declare some more variable. I want to know the month, okay? So I'm going to let month equal d dot get month. I'm really relying on the drop-down menu here in VS Code. You know, you kind of get an idea for some of them, so I'm going to do that. And let's see, I also want to get let day equal d dot get day, and what's the other one? Weekday. I might be getting these backwards. We'll find out soon enough. Let weekday equal d dot get date. Yeah, I think I've got those backwards. I think I've got day and weekday, but like I said, we'll find out here soon enough. So I've got these variables. I'm going to grab this, copy, paste, and I'm going to keep appending my key info. I want my next one to be the month, and then the next one is going to be the day, and then I'll do weekday. And so let's see what we have going on here. Now for the month, it's giving me a 10 even though it's a November. So that's normal because January is 0. So that's kind of weird to see it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to +1. Yeah, that should be fine there. I'll just do a +1 on that month. So now I see the November. Now today is the 16th. So I'm just going to swap these out right here. D needs to be day needs to be get date, and then weekday is going to be get day. And now November the 16th, and then the 2 represents the weekday. So what I'm going to do there, I think what I want to do is create a quick variable. So let me just take a little side trip here. I'm going to let my, what do I want to call it? All right, weekday 2, very exciting, is going to be equal an array. So I'm going to be very exciting here. Oh, I got to put this in quotes. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Cool. Yeah, it's a little tedious, I know. You got some typing to do, but do it once, take care of it. In fact, you probably have this on another script somewhere that you've created. Okay, so I've got weekday 2. Now what I'm going to do is I want my key info. Obviously, I got the 2 there for Tuesday, but I don't want to do that. I want to do, God, I shouldn't have called it weekday 2. That's too distracting because I've got that other 2. I'm going to say day of week. I know, it's crazy. So I want my key info not to display that 2. Actually, maybe that's good. I'm going to do this as well. My key info plus equals is going to display day of week, square bracket, weekday, closing square bracket. There we go. because I know my weekday variable is going to be that number like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I put that in the square brackets for my variable that represents my array, that's going to give me that. So now you can see it's November the 16th. Its day of the week is Tuesday. There we go. A couple more things. I just want to get the hour and the minute. So let hour equal d dot get hours. There we go. Let minute equal d dot get minutes. There we go. And I'm going to copy, just retype it. Key info plus equals, I want hour plus break tag. And oops, what did I just do? I undid. Copy, paste, and then the next one's going to be the minute. And I'm screwed up on my break tag. I need to get a break tag up there, so I'll do plus break tag. All right, what do we got going on here? So I can see that it is November 16th to Tuesday. It is 15:35. My current time just changed to 15:36 on my clock. So if I refresh this, it's going to be 15:36. 15 being 3 p.m. All right. Whew. Now, I'm probably not going to go too much further in this video. This was all some initial setup. And even though I wouldn't necessarily display this on my finished web page for the end users, for the customers, it's good information to know. I've got these variables that now represent this key information that is going to be important to me as I start to make these selection menus smarter. So I'm going to head out, pick up my wife, and in the next video I do, which maybe tonight, but most likely tomorrow AM, I'll send that out. But hopefully this will give you at least a little bit of starting information. So what kind of stuff would I look for? Well, now that I know the current information, I can start to create some if statements in order to do some things. Now those if statements are very likely going to be containing a loop. Because, for instance, if let's say today is Tuesday, then there are certain days of the week that I want to hide from here. So, for instance, if today is Tuesday, which is a number 2, I want to hide any values that are less than 2. And I want to hide any values that are today's date, 2 for Tuesday, plus 2 or more. So today, 2 plus 1 would be 3, which would be Wednesday, plus 2 would be Thursday, so I guess more than 2. So now that I've got these numbers, I should be able to go through and say, okay, well, I'm just going to hide particular options that have values that are less than or more than, depending on some little small math formula. Now, I'll do similar things for my times. You notice my times have this. Now, if I have my hour values and my minute values, I can do some pretty good construction and say, okay, well, if I know what the current time is, if, for instance, somebody picks today, which is Tuesday, that means I shouldn't be able to see, and it's, like I said, it's 3:30 p.m., I shouldn't be able to see certain times. Maybe I shouldn't see 4 p.m. and I shouldn't see anything before that. I should only be able to see things like 4:30 and 5 and 5:30. And then before you know it, you're going to have yourself a pretty smart form where the user is presented this selection menu. When they click on this drop-down menu, they're not going to see 7 days to choose from. They're going to see 3 days to choose from. They're going to see the current date, which for me right now would be Tuesday, and then they would see 2 additional days. And then they might see limited times. For tomorrow and the day after, they would see all of these times because all of those times are available. However, if they were to pick today, then they're only going to see a limited set of times for this to work. So yeah, that's the gist. But I really do think it's important to get a handle on the information that you're going to be utilizing in those scripts. So go ahead and take care of this part if you haven't already done so, or tweak it so that you've got that. And then in another video, we'll go a little bit further and we'll see how that we can smartify those particular fields. Take care.